Fired up. J State fired up. Hey, fired up.
Yo, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? A sonic boom! Whoa, whoa, boom, boom, boom. Hey, shout out once again. Shout out to Jason Thornton, aka Ali. Boomba for that track, y'all. Jason Thornton is responsible for that track. Toby done, yeah, what it do? What's cracking? What it do? What's popping?
What's popping? What's up, guys?
Hey.
Yo, so check this out. We are here. We are here once again with Tiger Talk TV. This is Band Sessions with the Boom. We are here. Welcome once again. It's your boy Terrell Key, aka T Reezy.
And it's your girl Danielle, aka Don Yeezy.
And it's your boy Toby Johnson, aka Ed Fury Styles.
Yo, so check this out. If this is your first time to the show, welcome. If it's your second time and beyond, welcome back. If you have not liked the channel, follow the channel. This is where you do it right now. Go to Spotify. We're there. We're on Google Podcasts. We're there. Go to Apple Podcasts. We're there. And wherever you get your podcast. And when you go to YouTube, make sure you go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button. Slide over to the right. Click the bell. Ding! So you can get notifications every time we go live, every time there's a show, every time we have anything going on, so you don't miss out. Because it all helps the cause. That's DI Love, Jackson State University. Yo, we back again. Let's get into it. I'm ready for it, y'all. I've been missing y'all. I ain't seen y'all in a while. Y'all look like y'all getting a little older. Y'all still getting older.
Watch your mouth, man. Yeah. I don't look like I'm getting older. I just want to be getting older.
I had a gray strand of hair pop up like yesterday, literally just out of the blue. Like it just showed up, and I feel like am I getting older?
It's a
That's
blessing.
what happened. It is. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining because it could be a whole nother situation.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Gray has the story, but I got a question.
You do?
I do.
Let's get it.
All right. So, what song instantly brings you back to band days?
Like something we hear on the radio or something?
Like you hear it on the radio. You start marching in the car. And there you go pouring water.
I am. That's a part of the show. I did it when it was quiet. Start marching in the car.
What song instantly brings you back to band days?
I would say anything Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Facts. Yeah.
Anything Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Boom. Ba, ba, ba. You know what I mean? It's just any song that just pops up. You know, you gotta. I think for me it would be, and I'll make it quick. I think for me when I'm listening to like V101 here, that's like the old school station where old classics and hits. Usually
is it equivalent to like a Kixie 107?
Yes, 100%. Kixie 107 in Jacksonville.
Soul favorites. What is it in Atlanta?
Why do you know that?
It's 95.5 in Tampa. What is it in Atlanta? The old school, like.
Shoot, I don't know. 102.3.
Okay.
103.5.
Yeah, they exist everywhere.
We'll go with that. All right, I gave my answer. Anything off of Kixie or anything off of V101, old school, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Anything Earth, Wind, and Fire is always a drill tempo. So that's my answer.
Okay. I guess mine would be dreaming.
Christopher Williams. Is that Christopher Williams?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
dreaming. Yeah, something that would come on, like a song that would come on, just on a random '90s R&B playlist or something.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
yeah, dreaming would, yeah. What about you, Toby?
I like your answer, Daniel. But anything Terrell went anything Earth, Wind and Fire. I would go anything Frankie Beverly and Mays. But that's like easy. That's easy. But no one does it better. Nobody does it better.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Mint condition. That
Absolutely.
that's something that, like, if I hear it, like, I'm marching.
Yep.
I'm looking weird in the kitchen while I cook.
So you looking
Like,
weird?
yeah,
You looking
Yeah.
weird?
yeah. My kids over there like recording. I'm like, don't post that.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah,
post
Yeah.
that.
don't post that.
Danielle, look,
Kind
he
of,
got
that's
on the
kind of
apron.
business.
He
Got
got
the
on the
apron
apron, and
on.
the apron popping up because he marching.
Yep.
The
Right.
bottom of the apron
Stirring
popping.
the sauce. Hilarious.
And we gotta ask our guest that. We gotta ask our guest that question because that we gotta make sure our guests get that
Right about
question.
today, guys.
Yeah.
Me too. You know what? You know, we not even going. Let's not even wait. Let's not take any more time without
Mhm.
further ado. I was going to say further ado. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me get my pom pom because we gotta have a pom pom. Pom poms are shaking, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for our next special guest because what?
All I guess
All
special.
our guests are special.
All our guests are special, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to the stage on Tiger Talk TV at Band Session with the Boom, Dr. Justin Sherrod. Woo! There
What's
you
going
go.
on? What's going on?
Hey.
Justin, what's
Hey, you
cracking,
made
partner?
it.
What it do?
Oh man, everything's been good, man. I can't complain. How y'all been?
We're doing
Good.
good, baby.
Blessed.
Hey, so start the show off. Answer the question, man. What song instantly brings you back to your band days? Because people know, but we're gonna act like people don't know. But you marched in the band, left the band, did your thing, grew up, matriculated, and then came back to the band. Like,
Mhm.
what was it? What song back in the day? Like, before you came back? Like, if you hear it right now, you marching.
I was gonna say dreaming. That was my first one, but Danielle said it. It'll probably have to be Backstabbers.
Whew.
Mm.
Ooh.
OJ's.
Yeah, we played that my freshman year. We played it in a medley, and it's been jamming ever since. As soon as you hear it, I promise you start marching.
We played Backstabbers in a medley. Remember
Mhm.
that? Remember that, guys?
I
Mhm.
don't.
Yeah. You don't?
I don't.
I remember it.
Yeah.
It was I don't know what year it was.
Oh, two, I want to say.
Yeah, I want to say toward the
That was
end, like
interesting
it
year.
was toward the
Oh,
end.
it might have been that time when I was apart.
So you were gone. So
I was
that was it. Toby was gone. That was Toby. Toby
that brief
wasn't there in
moment.
02. He was a rap. No, that was it. Like you were done. Like 02 was it. 02 was it. Like 01 was it for you. Anyway.
Oh, that's
All
cool.
right.
All right, so
Good
going
question. Good
forward, man.
answer.
All good. It's no bad answer. No bad answer. Justin,
Never.
so what is your boom story? That's how we started off. Like, what intrigued you into wanting to be part of the Sonic Boom of the South initially? Like, and how did you meticulate through that whole process? And then what brought you back? Tell us your story.
Okay, so originally I'm from Jackson, Mississippi. I went to Provine High School before I came to Jackson State University. But before that, before I got to Provine, I was at Northwest Jackson Middle School, and we did all the parades. We marched. We did a bunch of different performances. So I had a bunch of encounters with other people that played in the band. I think my first encounter was probably with everybody know Boosie, Kevin Fuller. He was one of our drum instructors. He was the drum instructor at Northwest. So you know, that influence and that swag that he brought there. You know, we saw it, and we just loved his intensity, how much passion he talked about WT, and you know, that's what we wanted. And me being in 7th, 8th grade, hearing that, you know, it's like, okay, I got to really check it out. And then it was another instance. I talk with Dr. Little about this all the time. I was in the 8th grade, and he was at Lanier as a drum major, and we had a performance with Lanier High School. It was like a joint performance, and we played bear with them. And you know, I admired, you know, Dr. Little from that point on, you know, and knowing he was going to Jackson State, but just that experience of me being able to play with the high school students and hopefully, you know, take my talents to the next level really made me want to continue to pursue in percussion. So then I got to Provine High School. You know, I did about 2 years before Carlton Williams got there, who was another Jackson State alum, and he got there and revitalized the program, changed it, and took off with it. And that was just something that, you know, that I really admired about him, showing us the ways to Jackson State. You know, he would take us up to Jackson State, take students up to Jackson State and let them see the band rehearse, you know, and that really just kind of pulled me in and say, yeah, this is where I'm going. I'm going to Jackson State. And so yeah, so that was kind of it, man. And you know, it was no choice. You know, I knew where I was going. I knew I wanted to be at Jackson State. So once I got to Jackson State, you know, I basked in it, and I engulfed myself with all the traditions and culture of Jackson State, you know, with War and Thunder, did my research. You know, I played all of the cadences, and I just really learned the style. Once I left there, I went to do my master's and my doctorate at University of Southern Mississippi down there in Hattiesburg. And, you know, and I taught at Hattiesburg High School down there with the drum line. And just so that influence that I had, that Jackson State style, you know, I tried to push up on them. You know, we had a couple people that was from Alcorn, but down as directors, you know, some of my good friends, you know, but that drum line was definitely Jackson State. And then I got to Vicksburg, and I did about 6 years there, you know, with the program. And ultimately, I knew once I had my doctorate, I knew I wanted to pursue a collegiate position. So everything that I did down there, my research, my teaching, just the education, the research, everything that I did was to ultimately pursue a collegiate position. So once I saw that Jackson State had the position online, I went ahead and applied for it and had a talk with Dr. Little, and I got the position. And it feels surreal to be back, you know, at my alma mater, doing what I love to do, and to be able to actually, you know, influence the students that are there now inside of the section.
So, Justin. So I got 2 questions.
Okay.
Not really related. The first one is, how was your Jackson State experience? Like, we glazed over that, right? Mm-hmm. So you knew you wanted to go to Jackson State. Carlton Williams was there. It was like, you know, without a doubt, right? So then, like, you get to Jackson State, and what is that like when you get there? Like, you know, did you know anyone there? Any section leaders? Were you familiar with, you know, like how was that whole collegiate experience for you? You were a section leader at a point, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Wrong? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Like, how did that happen?
Okay, so let's go back to freshman year. I already knew, you know, I knew some of the section leaders coming in, and then I knew, like I said, a lot of people that played in the section. That's where I first met Toby, when I was in was that 11th, 12th grade year, when Toby came to Provine, and he was working with the drum section there too. So, you know, I knew him going in, and it was a couple other guys that was in the section. My section leader from high school, Chris Williams, Blue, he played bass drum, but he was my section leader at Provine. And I knew Maurice, and I knew a couple other people that I was in All City with. So I did All City, JPS All City from 8th grade all the way to 12th grade. So I knew a lot of those guys that was in the section, and freshman year was, it was a freshman.
It was a
It was a
freshman.
freshman year.
Very
It was
nice
a
way to.
freshman year.
It was a freshman year. It was a freshman
Yeah.
year.
That was your freshman year. Oh, it was a freshman. It was a freshman year.
It was a lot of hard work, but one of the things I did appreciate at Jackson State, I guess that kind of helped me, was the way that they pretty much ran sectionals, and pretty much the way they taught the material. Everything was very detail oriented. A lot of things that I learned in the section my freshman year, I still apply to my life now. Because that's just what, WT did. They taught you not only just what you're supposed to know inside the section, but just social aspects, how you carry yourself, things that is kind of transparent both ways. So that was one of the things I really respected in the section, and I got to learn. But just going through the whole year of freshman year, just learning the material, because ultimately I knew I wanted to be a section leader. So I paid attention to certain things in the section, and I went above and beyond the things that was asked of us, in a sense. And then it brought me to my sophomore year. And sophomore year, sophomores, we typically, you're in the section, but there's your time to continue learning, but add value to the section. So that's kind of what I did throughout that whole year. Just learn everything, learn how to be a leader, under Reese. And my junior year came, and I got the section leader position. And, I had a bunch of my other crab brothers who was the other section leaders of the tenor drum, cymbal section, quint section, and things like that. So we had a good relationship in there. So it was a good experience, throughout my time in the band.
Awesome. So you
I
said,
would like to go ahead, D.
Nope, go.
Like, I would like to talk about like the collaboration that you had with your crab brothers when you became section leaders. But I also want to go backwards, because what people might not know is that, like, all three of us, Danielle, Terrell, and myself, we all have stories about you.
Mm-hmm.
And we have interactions and memories with you, that Danielle, Terrell, and myself, we didn't know until we brought you on today,
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of brought it up. Like, I did work Provine's drumline for a year when Carlton was there. And I remember telling Carlton, like, you wasting your money with me, because you got a junior snare drummer that's better than me. Like, he can teach. Like, he's not better chopping. Like, he was better chopping, and he was better teaching. Like, he was there, and I was like, this dude he's for real. Like, and I had never seen that before. And I came in, I taught some music, how to read and whatever, and then we working through some cadences and cleaning some stuff up. And I taught some warm-ups to make some core style warm-ups that I brought from, like, when I was at Brandon, and y'all was killing that. And I was like, oh, everything is easy. And, like, I'm not challenging them. And I'm not challenging. No, I was challenging them. I wasn't challenging Justin. And so it was like, oh, this dude is special. Like you wasting your money with me. Like, you need to just let him go ahead and do all this stuff. But in telling that, like, when did you know that you were gifted?
Oh, man, I'm gonna be honest. All right, so here's a story Terrell probably don't know. All right, so everybody know. Well, you probably don't know. So Terrell's father and my dad were best friends, and when I was about 5-6 years old, and I was playing, I had some sticks, man, and I was playing on it, and I never forget, his dad brought me like a piece of wood and said, that's what you need to play on. He said, that's the drum pad right there. I started playing on the wood. I had to be I was about 6 years old, and I'm playing on it, man. And at that point, man, I eventually got a drum set, man. And I was just, I was, I was getting it. I was playing at church. I was playing here, playing there. And I knew that this is what I wanted to do. When I got to middle school, And that's the time Drumline came out, and I started learning all those drumline licks on the snare drum. And some people at the school could do it, and some people couldn't. It was like, how you learn that stuff that fast? I was like, I don't know, man. It just comes to me. And I think that carried on up until to college. It just material came easy for me, to learn, to manipulate, to spew out. And I guess that's just kind of like when I figure like this is my niche. This is it. This is what I like to do, and this is what I'm good at. So right around that middle school, high school period, until freshman year came, and those guys didn't care how well I played at Jackson State. You're freshman, you play what we tell you to play. But I appreciate that too, because that made me focus on, the section. And then once I became a sophomore, I guess those talents really flourished. My sophomore year, I was able to actually listen to what they was telling me to play, and then provide my own kind of feedback and manipulations and just some hard material things like that.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So,
That's crazy.
so okay. Let me say this. So I never knew that.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why I never knew that. But when you said that, I was like, "What? What? I never knew that." So that's my thing. So real quick. So
Terrell, your daddy deputy.
Slick.
I mean,
it's like your dad deputy.
Wow.
He had some
wood. Like that's
he had some.
WT.
He had something better than a drum. He don't need no drum. Forget that drum mess. He go a 2x4. My daddy built fences, so he kept 2x4s in the back of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy. So he goes. So here's like a weird connection here. So like, my dad played football at JSU. Justin's dad played football at JSU. So they were buddies, and that whole football buddies. And then so Justin and I grew up together as childhood friends. The world probably doesn't know that, but when I would go over to Justin's house, so Justin's older brother and I are closer in age. So Justin's a couple of years younger than us, but I remember when Justin was born. So we would just go over there, like, so like my mama, his mama, my daddy, his daddy. They will be in the front, and then of course the kids got to go to the back, so the grown folks can do the grown folks stuff. So that was crazy to like have grown up with Justin, and then here we are today telling that story. That is why, and that sounds like something my daddy would make. He would make something out of anything. Like if there was something over there, if there was like, I'm looking at a garbage can. If he saw a garbage can, he would make a hat out of it or something. I don't know. He figured something out of it. Like, put it on your head, keep it on our face. I don't know. So that's a crazy story. So you saying it sounds like the love for being a percussionist and just a drummer or of course percussionist is the better word. It started way a long time ago, like young age, and it's like you just kind of got on your parents' nerves, beating on everything in the house.
Exactly.
They just kind of poured into that kind of lifestyle. And then here you are today. I'm sure they are proud of you, my good sir. Tell your mom and dad I said what up.
Crazy. Like, I remember him being frustrated with me because I was trying to break everything down. Yes,
Why are you frustrated with you?
Because he was so talented, and like he didn't know how talented he was.
But you did.
He wanted everybody else. Like he thought that everybody else in that drum section was as talented as him. But what he didn't know was like when I was sitting back and I like, because I was like, oh, like he's really, really, really good, but everybody else ain't on his level. They can play, but they ain't on his level, and he couldn't see it, and it frustrated him. He was like, we gotta move, we gotta play this, blah blah blah. And I listened to him, and I was like, okay, go ahead and do it. And then he went out there and he tapped them off, and they played through this stuff. Okay, let's clean this stuff up. But like, no, like it frustrated him because he was so far more advanced than anybody that I've ever seen in a percussion. So like just looking at him in his life over the past, 15, 20 years and watching him progressively go like, oh, he's going to US. Saw him go to Jackson State. Like, okay, cool. No, like, oh, he's going to USM. Now, oh, like, okay. He's getting his doctorate, like that type of stuff. It was like, okay, like he for real, and then playing with all these ensembles and traveling abroad. talk about those opportunities that you've had since you chose this as your passion. What are those opportunities that you've had that made you to the percussionist that you are?
Well, so I guess one of the things is, like, when I was in middle school and high school, I was, I was talented in the area of like marching percussion. I could read really well, I could play well. But one of the things that I suffered with was reading and playing mallet percussion instruments, vibraphone, marimba, xylophone, timpani, those things. And so that really put a hindrance on what I wanted to do. And I knew that if my ultimate goal was to become a director of percussion or something like that at the university level, I knew I needed to go ahead and pursue those particular aspects. Once I got to Jackson State, that's where the percussion instructor, Dr. Rockwell, he was there, and he really showed me how to play, those mallet instruments. And that's one of the things I really appreciated him for, because he taught me the ropes. He showed me the ropes. He showed me what needed to be done and pushed me to try to go ahead and pursue those things, because I told him what my end goal was. So once I left Jackson State and I went to USM, which is when I got with Dr. John Wooten down there, it really just enhanced everything. I was still learning. I was a master's student, but I really hadn't excelled in the area of concert percussion and orchestral percussion and things of that nature. So it really took off at that point. Once I really decided that I was serious about it, in Jackson State, and everything at USM was geared toward me landing a college percussion gig. But while being there, I was able to play, in the orchestra. I was able to play in the wind ensembles. I was able to do different gigs around town. I played drum set in the spot. It used to be called a Jazzmo's down in Hattiesburg. It was just a house band gig, but that was still experience though. So, and me playing steel pan, and we was going and traveling with the Somispo organization, Somispo ensemble USM, and we was able to play at different schools, and I was able to meet different people, which ultimately led me to, get orchestra gigs. I played with the Mississippi Symphony, played with the Meridian Symphony. And then ultimately, when I went to go study abroad over there in Europe, I was able to, see some things and meet some different people. Went to Argentina to do some work on my dissertation, and I was able to experience a different level of percussion down there, where they use different types of instruments. They don't typically use marching band instruments, so they have their own percussion instruments. So I was able to learn that style and get a wealth of knowledge to actually write about it. So so all of those things kind of stem from me actually taking it serious at Jackson State and just moving forward with it. But those experiences is why I came back to Jackson State, because I feel like I can impart some of that knowledge upon the students that's here now. So, like, my ultimate goal at Jackson State is not necessarily to just focus on marching band, but to make this the hub for all percussionists, to really mature in their craft. So that's my ultimate goal at Jackson State, not to just focus on War and Thunder, but to make sure that you can play four mallets, to make sure that you can play credible repertoire, to make sure that you get those graduate assistant gigs without any problem. So that's ultimately what I wanted to do, and reason why I came back to Jackson State.
Man, you cold blooded.
Yeah.
You cold blooded.
It really is, man.
D, you hear this man? This man
I
say he
do.
went to Europe, Argentina.
Argentina.
Who doing that?
San Antone.
San Antone. I'm sure some people doing that, but yo, like, to hear all of those things that have happened within that time frame, like, it seemed like you've done a lifetime worth of studying. Up until this point, man. What year did you graduate from high school?
2007.
So you 07, so you crab 07. Okay. All right, cool. All right. So you fall right into that. So we've had 04 on, we've had 2012 on, and now we got 2007 on. Just younger alumni boom. We're trying to bridge that gap right up in there. D, did you D, when you were asking the question, you were asking him a question, and you see he had two questions. Did you ask your second question? I don't know why my brain went all the way back
Darn,
there.
I was thinking, don't forget the second question, Danielle. You
Did you
said
forget?
that you applied. You said that you went online and applied for the job. So
Mhm.
you mean to tell me, I mean, I'm sure that's how you know, got the job. You had to apply for it.
Mhm.
Um, was this may be a an obvious question, but like, did you always want to be a director of percussion at Jackson State?
um,
Good
I think
question.
the idea crossed my mind, a bunch of times. That a lot of people used to say, "Hey, man, you need to go back up to Jackson State. You need to go here. You need to do this." And I considered it, but was it like, "Hey, I'm going to finish this degree and I'm going to go right back to Jackson State"? I didn't plan it like that. I didn't, because I didn't know, where God would take me. I just wanted to make sure that I did what I was supposed to do, and whatever doors open, what I'm saying, that's what opened. You pray for doors to open, and doors open. And it just, initially it was Jackson State, that opened, welcomed me back. So I would say no, I didn't. But I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to be at a collegiate level because of the experiences that I had. I wanted to kind of give back. I would say that a HBCU would probably have been like one of my top choices to come back to. And if I was coming back to HBCU, why not come back to Jackson State?
Hey.
So give back to, where it all started from.
Mhm. Wow.
Absolutely.
Hey, Justin, I have two opportunities of questions that I want to ask, and I'm gonna hold off on one. But right now, this year, you this is your first year as percussion instructor for the Sonic Boom of the South. Um, and this is the first year I can remember the percussion section being the section of the year. I didn't see it coming. And there's episodes of us saying, like, when you came in, I was like, oh, it's coming, but it's not gonna be this year. He got to get his he got to get his boots on the ground. He got to get his toes in the sand and everything.
Uh-huh.
You did that in your
Toes in the
first year,
sand.
man. You did that in your first year.
Yeah.
And it's not too many, because you know what people think about drummers. They call us
What they
drummers.
think? What they think?
Huh?
What they think? What they think about
Right.
drums? I don't know, because I'm
You know
clear.
what
I'm
they
clear.
think, man. I'm not
I'm
gonna.
not a drummer.
I'm
I
not
don't know what ever told me.
entertaining your
Just
questions.
answer.
We all got ADHD. We all like hyperactive and all that type of stuff, and we disrespectful, and we really not. We just misunderstood.
What?
But
Misunderstood.
Justin came in there in first year. They were solid. They were great. They were good. But like I didn't think that under his first year that he would be able to pull that. They one of the groups that had the highest GPA in the
Mhm.
band. How did you do
That
that?
part.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. That the section of the year that kind of shocked me as well too. I really wasn't expecting it. Of course, I really wasn't shooting for it.
Yeah.
I really wasn't saying, "Hey, I'm going in to make sure that we get section of the year." That was not my intent.
No.
My intent was to make sure that we were better than the year before. And when you focus on those type of details, then whatever happens. But my intent was to observe, to clean up material, to focus heavily on details, and try to get back to um original WT in a sense. WT is always is WT is there. But like when you go back and you teach something and you working with a group and you say, "Oh, I remember when we used to do this," or "I remember these ideas that I used to have." Those are some of the things I try to pour into the students now, and without neglecting the ideas that they have, because the students in there are playing. Man, these guys are playing. And
Mm-hmm.
you talk about me having this ability to play like that. individually, man, some of those guys in there, they're playing some stuff that I haven't seen before, you know, and they're doing a great job. So is I think the correlation that we had with the students that was in there now, them coming up with ideas and I'm coming up and bringing ideas, it just kind of worked out together. I showed them how we used to do things back in, you know, 2007 and previous years and the 90s and things like that, because I can talk on that because I did my research. You know, when I was in the section, I did my research, and you know, a lot of the guys from 98, 95, 90s, you know, they used to come around and give us advice and work with us when I was in the section too. So just bringing that to the section now with the ideas that they have now, it can only go up from here. You know, last year, we got section of the year, but I think this year is probably going to be even better because the students understand where I'm coming from. They understand what's expected, but they also know what's expected. So they're challenging themselves as well. One of the biggest things that I said to them when I came in is, how can this group be better than the group before? And what do we need to do? So what we did was we highlighted those things. We put it on the board, you know, and we just executed. And that's the biggest thing. Now this year coming up, my goal is to see a better version of WT, you know, a better version of just listening, playing, executing, and hopefully, you know, we'll get there. If we get section of the year 2 times in a row, you know, I'm not gonna be mad. But then again, I'm not shooting for it either.
Justin, but like also like, I don't know, you might not be in the groups, in the group chats and stuff like that. I don't know, but everybody's proud of you, right? But I understand that there is a lot of pressure because in my memory, and I've done the research looking back, percussion instructors, the first real percussion instructor that we had, you know, is Duplessis, and then we had Bethea, you know, and then it went on. But like Duplessis went to Southern, Bethea, he went to IU, and Rockwell went somewhere else. You're the first percussion instructor
Jackson State.
from Jackson State.
What?
So,
wait a minute. Come
so
on now.
It's instant respect from anybody that's WT because you're WT. In knowing the history of WT and being part of the process of excellence, how does that transcend into these newer generations, this new, you know, the new generation? Like, how do you bring that passion of like, this is something more than just playing a paradiddle? To being, are you understanding what I'm saying right now? Because
I understand. So it is a lot of pressure, and I'm gonna say this because as more as the band program has changed, it really has stayed the same in a sense.
right.
You know, like one of the things I respect about our band program and about the section is that we hold true to our core values and our tradition. And this is why you can pull up clips from, you know, 10 years apart, going back 10 years and 10 years and 10 years, and you can see the resemblance in our sections and in our band program. We hold true to those core values, but we also realize that the generations is moving forward, and you have to stick with the times. So, and those are some of the things that I'm thinking about in the section 2. I can't come in and say, hey, we're not going to do this, or we're not going to, you know, cut this out. I don't know what you all are doing. Let's go back to my era and bring all of this material. You can't do that because, you know, that's not what needs to happen. What needs to happen is a collaboration, and you need to make sure that you're moving forward, but making sure you're staying on the straight path. And so one of the biggest things that I had to do was figure out what is this straight path and what can I keep and change. So, you know, as much as, you know, with WT is it's not a lot of change. We don't change much, but that's because with WT, you know, that's what we try to do. We try to stick with what we do best and execute. And so the hardest thing I had to do was figure out what is this generation doing. And when I say this generation, it's not just Jackson State, it's the students, you know, of all schools, high school, middle school. You know, what are they what is their norms, you know, what do they like to play, what interests them. So you have to kind of feed into that and then kind of change the perspective of it, while still capturing the essence of WT. So that's something that I'm still trying to do, because anybody can say, "Oh man, you know, you play from this area. Just tell them we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that." But like the stuff that we played was for our era. You know, the era's changing, the generations is changing, is evolving. So you just have to make sure you evolve. But I guess I think I'm answering your question. It is pressure, you know, trying to make sure, and I do get a lot of respect, just because of me from Jackson State, and the students and everybody and alumni knows that, you know, hey, you're from Jackson State, you know how it's supposed to go. So it's a good thing, you know, because the students respect that, because they understand that, okay, we can see exactly how everything is transpiring, you know, how it used to be, how we can continue to move and mold this fashion without changing tradition. So, you know, it's been a blessing.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Man,
How was the transition, Justin, from say high school to Jackson State? I know it was a big difference, you know, in
Long
some
hours.
ways, but long hours.
Long day.
I already know.
Yeah, so that transition is is moving. And then you know, people say, "Oh man, you did this before." You know, you was in the school, man. Y'all used to practice, you know, hours, umpteenth hours at a time. You know, you start band practice at 5 o'clock, and it don't end until, you know.
Until
So
until 2,
until,
1,
yeah,
3,
5
4, 5
until.
in the morning.
Yeah, but the program now, it moves, it really moves, and my body wasn't adjusted to it when band camp hit. You know, the 5:30, 5 o'clock PTs and band camp, and you go all the way until, you know, 11 o'clock at night or whatever, you know, whatever the times are. You know, that was a real shocker. You know, uh, and then also the amount of material that they're learning. Like I say, like when we was in school, it was a certain amount of material that we learned. We pushed out a lot of songs, and we pushed out cadences and things of that nature, fanfares and solos. But now it's even more than that. So that's an adjustment too, you know, trying to make sure you focus on those things. So that was the adjustment that I had to make. And then also the classes that I teach intro to music theory, percussion methods class for the music majors who have different disciplines of instruments, and I teach percussion ensembles and applied lessons. So balancing that schedule on top of the band schedule after that, that was really something that I really had to focus on to make sure that I did well. So yeah, I'm still getting the hang of it though.
Justin,
hey man, you
you
doing it.
brought steel drums this year?
Well, actually, Jackson State already had steel drums.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Little, I want to say Dr. Little had them some years ago. I don't know if
Right.
Dr. Rockwell brought them or Dr. Little got them, but yeah, they had them. It's my goal to just kind of make it more known at Jackson State. They do a lot of performances, but I would like to, I guess, put the spotlight on them, you know, because we have steel band. The steel band performs with the percussion ensemble in our night of percussion,
Right.
and so we do that every semester. But just like, you know, a lot of people say, I didn't know Jackson State had steel band. So my goal is I just want to make sure I can put that spotlight on them because they're doing a phenomenal job,
Yes, they
and
are.
just to make sure that we let everybody know that we have the area of percussion here where we have it all. African Drum Ensemble does an amazing performances. Their concerts are outstanding. Um, the steel pan percussion ensemble, and then the other ensembles that we have, brass wind. So um, I just want to shed light on percussion. You know, the whole percussion family.
So you know what's crazy about that? So I'm glad you brought that up and you said that. I'm glad y'all talking about that because you know there are several other ensembles other than the Sonic Boom of the South, which is amazing. But there are other things going on, and when we had Lowell on, we talked about a lot of the concert pieces and the symphonic pieces and just the quintets and the ensemble of the ensemble. So I'm glad that you spoke on that. So when it's like when you hear you know, if you are a percussionist, most percussionists, they know about the percussion ensembles, but for some people that may not know, this is some information that you're sharing to for people to hear
Mhm.
different percussion ensembles. Like that's like to be able to experience that, like you gotta go and just sit and just enjoy the music. You gotta enjoy the percussion. So that shout out to the percussionist, all the percussionists. We got two on here. We got
Mhm.
look, this is
Okay,
percussion
so we
day.
got another one of these, right? We
We
have
got
another
another
one.
one.
We
Ah,
got another one of these. Like,
Mhm.
it is great, like being able to bring people like Justin on because, like, I think a lot of times, like when we talk about percussionists, this is like, oh, they just back there. No, like we not marching in the stadium without us. Like,
No, nobody say y'all just
like
back there. That's
you
true,
tweet
but
tweet, you tweet 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 tweet, and if we don't roll off, y'all ain't playing.
that is very true.
I mean, I guess. I
I'm
mean,
not saying we're the most important instrument, but I'm just saying, like, give us our
no, have
respect.
we? Have we ever marched into the stadium without the percussionist? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer.
Okay,
Don't
all
answer.
right. I won't.
I mean,
Don't answer
brief moment
that.
in '99.
You
You know
know
what I
what?
mean?
Hey,
I know.
I so
They
I
had drummers though. They had drummers.
I do remember. Oh man, it was one time. Oh, this had to be 2000. I think 2008. Man, Dr. Liddell started that. She started a band song without the drum line. Oh man, we asked him if we could play Funk Train One. We asked him we can go down there and play and kick Funk Train after halftime. So he was like, yeah. So we're starting Funk Train. Man, I think Doc probably must have signaled us and told us, hey, come on. We was like, we in the middle of Funk Train. We're gonna finish this thing. So, oh man, so we finished Funk Train, man. Soon as we get done, we're walking up the ramp. All I hear is the band play PYT.
Mhm.
No
They
drum.
start playing, man. We all the drummers running up the ramp, man, trying to make
Ah,
it there.
at the
I
game.
told them to come on, they didn't come on. So we gonna start. Drum agents.
It wasn't hot though. It wasn't hot.
Listen, I
wanna
know
ask-
that clip is out there somewhere too.
Maybe I should have said it.
No. I'm glad you did.
I'm sure it
I
sounded
literally,
amazing.
I'm glad you did too. It brings
I
truth to
literally
life.
want to. I want to
Sure
hear
sounded
Doc's
amazing.
version of that. I want to. I want to know
Right.
what Doc was thinking. Like, you know
I
what?
know.
Y'all took too long.
You need a
What
drum
was up?
roll.
Nope, we didn't. We didn't need. They didn't need it.
They just
Ironically,
counted
they
on.
didn't
They
need
just
I
it.
counted it
guarantee
off.
you, like it was no percussion or woodwind playing that.
Oh, and that was Doc's way of telling us, hey, we don't need y'all.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't play with me. That was
That is
petty.
that's
hilarious.
awesome, man. That's awesome.
He had
That
his
is funny,
moments.
man.
Yeah.
Hey,
No.
Justin, I
Had
want to
to
give you your
go.
flowers, man. We really appreciate you. Not because of what you're doing right now, but what you're building into the future. Like you're a visionary, and I know what you're doing right now is like planting seeds into students, and you're going to end up pushing these students to extraordinary patterns in life, and they're going to be doing great things in the world of percussion. And you're more than just a percussionist; you're a musician, and what that brings to the table is that when we go back and we look this year, one of my proudest moments, and I know this year, like in your year one, Sonic Boom of the South marching the Rose Bowl Parade, playing Holding On to a Hero.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you had vision in that percussion part because like we're listening to it. Danielle's texting me, did you hear this drum part and Hold Out for a Hero? I was like, yeah, I feel like Justin had a part in that. If he didn't do it all, but like just the acoustics, the dramatics, the anger, and then the spirit in it, in all of it. You know, like it had to come from a true musician, and you a true musician. So I appreciate everything. They joke, they laughing at me. I see them, but
Laughing at you.
but that's what I felt when
I received
hearing
that.
it, and but
Mhm.
also feeling like I'm a contributor, not to your talent, but being part of realizing that, oh, I'm around a genius in this, and recognizing it. I didn't tell you, I did tell Carlton, and I was like, hey, like, no, you got a genius in your section. Like, it's no need for me to be around here. Like, I'm just taking Provine's money. You know, like, he was like, yeah, you might be right. You might be right, because he didn't know you like that. But like, you are Jackson State University. You are the I love. You are the epitome of everything that we band sessions with the boom try to bring. And we appreciate you, and we love you, and we care about you, and we wish nothing but the best for you. You, my guy,
Hey,
we love it, man. Thank you for everything that you're doing right now, and
Yes,
we wish
sir.
nothing but best for you, man.
definitely, man. I appreciate all of you all for having me on the show, man. I enjoyed it.
Thank you,
Hey,
Justin.
we got a couple more
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. So okay, let's say. All right, Justin, you got a fun memory? You got a funny memory or a messed up memory?
Ooh.
Other than Doc starting people playing PYT without y'all.
Oh,
I prefer a messed up memory.
Messed up, right? Or funny.
Funny, a messed up memory.
oh man.
He got so many.
Oh,
So many. So many of them.
yeah. Let's see.
See, this is the part we're trying to figure out what he can say and what he cannot.
Right.
Like, you know what? I ain't gonna tell that story. I'm gonna leave that one to the after the show.
It's Jeopardy. Because he's still young. You're like, I don't want them calling him Thundercat.
Right.
Yeah. Let me think about one.
Hey, take your time. It's all good. So listen. So I'm gonna tell you. So like one of the things that we talked about when it comes to like a funny memory or a messed up memory. So one of the things that comes to my mind, and this is not an I got a question, but I'm just giving you an example. We talked about this when we used to go to Ryan's or Shoney's or wherever it was where we would eat, and for some weird reason, there was always like a line to get out of the door, like to leave the restaurant. There were people lined up on each side going toward our bus, and we just couldn't figure out why are they standing in line and clapping like on beat. Like, are we supposed to go through that? Can we go out the back? So something like that. Some kind of beat. But I'm not saying that that's what you experienced. That's what we went. We did
Yeah.
that was happening in 98. So, you know, any kind of fun, messed up, funny memory, like something that happened at a game, because there are tons. I know you have tons. You cannot tell me you don't have any. But it's
Man,
just
let's
figure
see.
out.
I remember, man, we was in the drum room cleaning drums as freshmen.
Mm.
And so it's always, you know, how the WT room used to be, you know, if people used to be scared to walk by the room.
Man, please. You know,
Okay.
like go around that way.
Yeah, because you know, and so we was in there cleaning drums, man, and I don't know, man. It was a couple upperclassmen came in there, and those jokers was just excited for no reason, man. And they just got on the drum, started making beats. Stoom, boom, digga boom, boom, digga boom, boom, digga boom, boom, boom. And I'm talking about, man, we had to stand up, man. You had to do some type of dance, man, to get up out that room.
Oh my God.
So man, we all had to do a dance, man. And I think they had us doing the doggone or was the Carlton dance off of the Fresh Prince,
Demonstrate that. How did you?
and it was the dun 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 dun.
Mhm. Yeah.
Jump on it.
Oh man, and everybody came in there. They was watching us dance, man. I'm talking about it was so funny, man. They made us go another round.
Oh no.
So yeah, so
Man.
cleaning drums in the drum room, you had to do something to get out.
Man, yeah. So yeah, that was kind of how the lines were outside the restaurant.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Yo, Justin,
Justin,
that's
we
crazy.
appreciate you, man. We appreciate
That's
you
crazy.
so much.
Most definitely.
Definitely.
Most definitely.
What you're
man.
doing is great work, man.
Yes, sir. Justin, man, listen, man, we're gonna wrap this up, man. But before we get out of here, do you have any last parting words, any shout outs, any people you want to say what up to or not? Do you have anything before we get out of here, my good sir?
Man, mostly, man, I just want to say to all of the fans, the alumni, man, I appreciate all of the support, appreciate all of the kind words. You all are why we continue to thrive in the band program and to make it what it is. I appreciate everybody that's on the directing staff, all the directors and everybody that has something to do with Jackson State. It's because of that passion that we try to make sure that we continue the legacy of Jackson State and the Sonic Boom of the South. So we appreciate everybody that has something to do with the program and everybody that has something to do with the alumni associations. Thank you all for the support. Continue to come to the game, continue to root for us, continue to push for us, and continue to fight for us when you all amongst other HBCU fans at your schools. So continue the good work, and love the boom.
Love the boom, baby.
Love the
Always.
boom. Period.
Love the boom.
Love the boom. Always in favor.
Love the
All
boom.
right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's us. That's a wrap, a riggedy wrap once again. This is Tiger Talk TV. You are here with Band Sessions with the Boom. You got your boy Terrell Key, aka T Reezy.
And it's your girl Danielle, aka Don Yeezy.
And it's your boy Toby Johnson, aka Fear Styles.
And we had our special guest tonight. Special guest, who are you, my good sir?
Dr. Justin Sherrod, Director of Percussion at Jackson State University.
Man, y'all heard that?
I'm glad
Doc.
you said that. Doctor. Doc, come on, Doc. Yeah, Doc.
Yeah, Doc. Doc.
Hey,
It took some
right.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all, that's it.
You got a
We outta
dissertation
here.
out there, man.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all, that's it. We out of here. Until next time. Peace out.